It's the BBPTVShow since 2012, where amazing guests share their digital adventures. Who will we meet today? Small biz influencer, up-and-coming trendsetter, accomplished author? You never know who'll be dropping by. And now, here's your host, Elaine Lindsay, the bionic glamourpreneur with Proulx social media, who's the second most curious person on the planet.
Hello, hello. It's so wonderful to be here. I'm really super excited today because, one, this is my amazing guest, Shaun Proulx. Hello.
Hey, nice to see you.
And it's our 100th episode.
Congratulations. That's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment, but I have been doing it for 8 years, so I did kind of take my time.
I'm honored that I'm the 100th.
I think it's wonderful. I've certainly wanted to have you on for quite some time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, what I'd love to do first, I want to give you, and this is a bit of a condensed version, all about Shaun. And I say condensed because I don't know anybody else that's wrapped this much life into this little time on the planet. So just bear with me, and I'm going to go through a whole bunch. Shaun has been titled by Huffington Post, actually, Canada's Gay Oprah. He says, the thoughts we have in our heads are the only things we can control. And with that, we'll talk about that in a bit of a while. Shaun began in finance, and although he didn't finish high school, he did really, really well in finance. He's gone on to claim the media and entertainment world as one of the most versatile talents we have. Shaun has credits as a television host and personality, a producer, radio host, motivational speaker, columnist, author, publisher, actor, live event host, spokesperson, life coach, and an activist for the issues of mental health, animal rights, and HIV stigma. Shaun, that's not it. He hosts the Shaun Proulx Show on Canada Talks, channel 167. That's his weekly Sirius XM talk show. And it's been said, Shaun truly is the poster boy for creating success by your own design. I have to say, I just am so honored to have you here.
Oh, the pleasure's mine, and I'm exhausted hearing that bio.
I just think it's wonderful that you pack so much into everything. And honestly, that's what attracted me the very first time I met you. When you spoke at at Kathy Donovan's event.
Yes, her conference.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. And I was, well, for one, I just wanted to hug you. I think I said that to you after. You were just so real. And it's sometimes quite rare to have someone speak, and when you get to talk to them after, they're just exactly the same as they were on stage.
Thank you.
And I super appreciate that. So I said a whole bunch of things about you, and probably heads are spinning here. It's like, oh my God. So let's start. Let's kind of go back. And I know you, like me, didn't finish high school.
Nope.
My brain was ahead of myself. You said you failed math in grade 10.
Yes.
These things
I
happen.
still fail it today.
Yeah, and yet, where did you go?
Finance. I know. But that was more about people skills than it was about the numbers. And it was about managing things as opposed to really, although the best thing about that was that it taught me, if I'm doing something and I'm successful at it, working for somebody else, and successful at something that I'm not good at, what could I do if I pursued something where I used what I was good at working for me? And so it was around 2000, Y2K, if everybody remembers that, was in the air, and change, and new beginnings. And I just thought, bye, and reinvented myself.
Wow. Was that terrifying to suddenly, because you made a real go of it. You made lots of money.
I did. I was making a lot of money. You know, I sold my house, and I think I made $15,000 the first year that I was out on my own. Excuse me. And at the same time, though, I was doing what I loved, and I was happy. And I was authentically happy because when I was working in finance before, I had a blast. I was good at what I was doing. I was good with people. I got to travel. I got to meet amazing people in my early 20s too. So all that money around you and stuff was super glamorous. And so I did really well, but that's not the same as authentically being happy. Right. I was doing really well, but I was also the guy who would have to go shopping at the end of every day. Like I did not have a day when I did not come home with a pretty shopping bag in my hand. And I was filling a hole, I realized, in my life. There was something I needed, that high, that whatever. So when you're doing what you love and what you're good at, that's where you get your real high from all the time. And so was I scared? I was too busy being happy. I was too busy with the thrill of it all, I think.
And what was that first after finance job? What did you do?
Oh, I did anything. I remember I wrote for some people in finance who needed copywriting done. I remember I had my first boss in finance was this powerhouse named Bobby Benson, and we remained friends. And I went into her office one day. It was just a pigsty. She couldn't find anything. So I cleaned her office for her. I got cast in a play right off the bat. I had auditioned while I was in finance for this. It was a lead role in a play that played just around the corner from me, actually. And the day I began my new life, when I was no longer in finance, day one, the phone rang at 9 a.m. and it was the director telling me that I had got the part. And so I'm a big, look for the signs. This is an obvious one. And I just thought 9 a.m., first day out, and I just got this news. And my friends were all laughing, going, "Oh, you're just already doing it?" But I was, and I took that as an eternal sign that I was on the right path and not to look back.
Absolutely. That's to me, that's the definition of doing what you're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you find that, the universe just makes it so easy.
The universe wants you to be happy, and it will show you along the way. It'll give you pats on the back along the way. Like, for example, I was obsessed with the 80s soap opera Dynasty and more obsessed with Joan Collins. And because you still am. And so there was a time when she was in the city and I got to meet her and interview her. And that held such meaning for me to have Alexis Carrington in a photo right here with my arm around her. And then I was also growing up, my salvation between high school, which was kind of a rough ride, and going home, and my dad was an alcoholic, so kind of a rough ride. You never knew what was happening there. My salvation was The Young and the Restless.
Yes.
In there. And there have been, I know cast members there now. I'm friends with a couple. I've been on the set. And when I was on the set, though, and I'm in Genoa City, I just was like, I can't believe, but it's the universe. It's the universe going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. And people watching this out doing their own thing, you have to look for those signs that might not mean anything to anyone else, that hold real deep personal meaning for you, because you're getting them if you're doing what you love. I promise you that.
Oh, so good. So good. That's like manna from heaven for me. Some of us, it took a lot longer. The universe had to sort of kick us into place before we got to do what we really wanted to do. What made it so, I don't know, to me, it's like you always had some knowing. There was this inner knowing.
That's one thing that I can say that has been consistent in my 20-year ride doing my own thing, has been I believe in myself. And that is a must. You can't be walking around thinking I'm not good enough, or who do I think I am, or this isn't going to work for me. You have to have, again, authentic belief in yourself. And there's just one thing I just knew, that I was good at words, whether it was performing them or speaking them or writing them. That's my thing. And so I just kept plugging at it. And I did so many small things, like none of no interest to anyone listening. You know, I'd write for free for papers, you know, local music papers or whatever. I was just busting down doors all the time. And you have to believe in yourself that way. I mean, even my SiriusXM show that I have now, I busted the door down, and my boss there now would say, no, you didn't. But I did. I had to go and really get his attention and pitch it. And lots of people were. So you really have to be consistent. I had an afternoon drive show on a station called Proud FM, and they were located just at the corner of Church and Wellesley over here. And I was pitching myself really hard for a show there, and so were a lot of other people. But later on, it became a joke with the program director who did hire me. He was like, we were under construction. I'm like covered in dust. I turn around, there's Shaun Proulx with a hard hat on and his pit.
Just dig
Through
it
the
in.
construction rubble you go. And some people aren't willing to do that, and or are too shy to do that, or think it's pestering to do that. But you've got to get the attention of the people who can bring you to the next level, because otherwise you're just going to stay on the same rung of the ladder at all times, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So from this inner knowing, I think you've taken it into the realm of more a type of spirituality. And I take it Oprah had a lot to do with that.
Oprah speaks my language. I speak that language. What she says resonates with me. And people were always really interested in, how did you reinvent yourself and do these fantastic things that you get to do? And so there came a time after I turned 40 where I was thinking about how I would rather share what I've learned, since people are interested, than just keep doing random stuff. And so I've gotten very focused. I'm still very much myself, but I'm focused on encouraging others. I believe with everything I know that we can all be, do, and have anything. And I'm a high school dropout, failed grade 10 math. I arrived in the city with zero self-esteem, and I lead a very happy, blessed life now that has magic imbued in it all the time. And I get surreal experiences, and I just think, if I can do it, you can do it. I know that.
And I know you'll agree with me when you're open to and grateful for what's around you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm like I want to say Snow White or whatever with the dwarves. Every morning the dog and I go on the deck at the front of the house, and we feed the chipmunks and the squirrels and the bunnies and the birds. Although there's a raven, I'm
Grumpy walks by.
Yeah. People are always walking by looking, going, there's bunnies right there. It's like, But there's a raven who's actually bigger than my dog.
A raven?
Yeah.
Where do you live? The Enchanted Forest?
Yeah, the Enchanted Forest in eastern Ottawa. No, we're just in the suburb. I mean, it's
nice.
Slightly older. And you know, it's not like there's big trees or forest or anything, but we do have a fair amount of wildlife. And to me, that starts my day with massive gratitude. Okay, we keep them in peanuts and bird seed. And this year, my husband took and made a recipe for hummingbirds. So now we have hummingbirds too.
Oh, lovely! I love hummingbirds.
Yeah. So I totally understand. And that, I think, is what drew me to you, because you were walking that same walk, and you
Yes.
were talking it, and it was like, oh my God, it's so, so true.
And in a sense, there's a bit of work to it because we're conditioned to live in a different kind of perspective where we're fed a diet of news that is never good. We're surrounded by people who complain, and then go to an online chat group to complain some more. It's not a positive,
No.
supported world that way. So you do have to do the work. And even in the early days when I first left finance, I was doing like the Artist Way, which is a kind of tough 12-week course by Julia Cameron, and the morning pages, and my gratitude journal,
Gratitude journal.
getting myself in, because and people who've watched you are probably well aware of this truth that's supported by quantum physics. We're always we're vibrational in nature. We think we're flesh, blood, and bones, but we're mostly vibration, and our thoughts even have vibration. And so if you take the excuse me, if you take the time to tune your dial to gratitude, universe likes to be appreciated, and you get more of what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
What you're paying attention to expands. And so for me, I want my best life, and I don't want to go to my death with regret. And so when you know how things work, like it's like talking to a computer. This is Louise L. Hay, the godmother of metaphysics, used to say this: talking to the computer. You tell it, you talk to it properly, it performs miracle functions. You don't talk to it properly, it doesn't do what you want to do. And it's exactly like that. And so I do try and find, and I'm not, listen, I have my bad days. An ex drama queen. I can still dial that up with ease, and I have challenges and problems that, and especially some on subjects that are important to me, that are just like hot button ones. They come along, and my best of friends have seen me at my worst. But in the background, at all times, when anything's going on, I know that all is well. Everything's working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good is going to come, and I'm safe. And that's the sort of key, I think, is to not let the circumstance drive you into whatever despair or disempowerment or depression or whatever. You've got to believe and have faith. And faith is believing that something is going to happen without the manifestation physically of it yet. And so you just have to believe that the better days are ahead, that this too shall pass. And experience is just that. It has a finite time. This experience will end. And doesn't make you stop crying sometimes, doesn't make you, not upset sometimes. But if you've got that in the back, then you can keep going.
Yeah, I think it's what you're saying is absolutely correct. And it's about the congruence
Yes.
of maintaining
Yes.
your own bubble.
Yes.
Okay, you're just like me. You believe we create our reality.
We do.
And maintaining that bubble, no matter what's going on,
yes,
does take work.
Yes, especially in these times. I mean, we've got the riots in the States, the protesting in the States. We've got Donald Trump at the helm. We've had a global pandemic. What are you going to do, though? Are you going to just wallow over here in the bad? Or are you going to find ways to consider what's going on that feel pleasing to you? And I'm not talking yippee skippy Pollyanna stuff and that kind of stuff, crap. I'm talking about, for example, with the riots and the protesting, I can already see the unfolding of very good things.
Yeah.
I can already hear really good conversations going on that are well overdue. And there's been a lot of positive effect to that. So we can look at that and go, oh my God, this place is falling apart. We're all falling apart. Or is humanity coming back in a better way than ever before? Same with COVID.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things around COVID and still are.
Well, I think the universe has put humanity in the corner. And said, you can get off the stool
Yeah.
when you realize and agree, because in my mind, it's different than when I was a child. Okay. I come from Britain, from lower class people who only knew their insular group.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, systemic racism, absolutely.
Yes.
50s, 60s, 70s. We know better, so we can do better. And the
Yes.
fact is, there's only one species. We're human, period. I say this a lot because it doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or yellow, or in my case, I'm polka dot. I'm all polka dot. Okay? Comes from what I've lived through. But all of me is polka dot. And I guess I may be the only one, somewhat like a giraffe. But like you, I think there's so much good has started to come from this,
Hmm.
because people realize it's not a matter of just saying you believe in diversity or even equality. It's about, you know what, we have to dump all that old stuff, because let's face it, white privilege is a thing.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
whether we like it or not, it just is. So going forward from there, I think is going to be pretty
Well,
amazing.
and listen to everything that you've just said. That's a perspective that's valid. It's not yippee skippy. It's true. And
Yeah,
so, to the earlier point, this is the choice that everybody has, is to control how they react. And you said it in your introduction, that what I know to be true is that your thoughts are the only thing you can control. We are always looking for some sort of sense of control in our lives. We try to control other people, our circumstances, everything around us, and we exhaust ourselves and make ourselves sick sometimes in the doing. The only thing you have control over are your thoughts.
yeah,
That's it. That's really it, and how you think of it. And I've got a friend who has been going through a work transition, and I've been marveling at how, because when I first met him, it would have thrown him. And he's really got grounded, and everything's been a blessing. He got another opportunity somewhere else. He turned it down. He just really got into a zone of empowerment. And that was from controlling his thoughts
yeah,
and not going all crazy when stuff wasn't working out his way or when change was happening.
absolutely. And that's really good segue into where I want to go. We're going to explore your thought revolution.
Oh, let's do
Now,
that.
yeah, it's been a few years
Yes.
since I think I heard you once say, when you blurted it out.
I blurted it out.
Yeah, you were on an interview, and you put out the words thought revolution and thought, okay, that's a
Right.
good.
Well, I was diagnosed HIV positive in 2005, and I'm now undetectable, which is a different thing,
Yes,
which means, if people don't know, that you can't spread the virus, you can't transmit the virus, they can't find the virus in you anymore.
yeah,
It's a huge miracle in
that
that
is,
subject. But I kept it to myself for many years, not because I was ashamed of it. I wasn't. I was quite peaceful with it, but because I just didn't want, as I was building a career that had public elements to it, to have that on me as a label.
yeah,
And but after a while, the sort of keeping something secret or keeping something private had the weight of a secret. And
yes,
I decided, for various reasons, to come out. And it was in an interview with Matt Galloway on CBC.
right,
And that's when it came to be, because as I was talking, I suddenly realized, and I think I probably said this in the interview, that HIV is a great metaphor, and the way the issue with stigma. I had been working, I was the chair of the AIDS walk that summer, and I was amazed at how many people were stigmatizing themselves, accepting stigmatization, and stigmatizing others because of what was, for most of them, a human act
yeah,
that everyone has done that I know of. No, but really. And that's my thinking. I'd never been unkind to myself about this. And so I saw that as a great sort of metaphor for beating yourself up and each other's up for your bank balance, for your big hips, for your divorce, for your crappy job. And we all need to take a breath and be kinder to each other and kinder to ourselves. And so in that, I think I probably called it a thought revolution. And that kind of stuck, and it matches with what I say and believe, that your thoughts are the only thing you can control. And when you can think thoughts that soothe you or feel better to you about a subject that's kind of ornery and picking at you, you can change the trajectory of your life, right? And so that's why I like the word revolution, because you really do cause a revolution within your own life, and you can be doing that on good subjects, bad subjects, all day, every day. It's your choice to have a thought revolution.
It's such a great way to put it, and I think it's very apropos right now.
Yes, we're having a lot of there is a major thought revolution going on, but how true? How true? That's all that's going on, is people are thinking differently about important subjects. Like the subject of white privilege, when it came to my attention, I didn't understand it, and I got my back up about it at first. And I really feel like I've come a long way, and I have a far greater understanding of my privilege and being complicit in its use, but not in helping others. And that's a thought revolution, going from having your back up about something to getting it in a different way that serves you better is a thought revolution.
Absolutely. Wow.
You want it to serve you better. You don't want to have a thought revolution backwards. You don't want things to be good and you want it to be about whatever's like money, what relationships, your health. You know, if you're not feeling well and you can at least say, my body knows what it's doing, it's a start of a revolution.
It is.
I like the idea of feeling better. That's more revolution going on.
I like your turn the dial, and for me, it's always about the vibration.
Yes.
Okay. I worked with a spiritual advisor since 2004. My son calls her the holistic missile. And, she gave us an exercise that you can use when you go in to speak, or you go into a board meeting, and there's somebody at the table that's really grumpy, their vibration's really low. That tends to pull everybody down.
Yeah.
If you go in and consciously think that your vibration's really high and you're excited and this is going to be great, you basically infect everybody in the room.
Yes, you do.
And it's amazing.
The reason why you do is back to science. It measures vibration in what's called hertz. And so high vibe stuff, which is all your positive emotions, hope, optimism, love, feeling frisky, feeling confident, feeling love, which is the highest vibration of them all, reads at a far higher hertz level than negative emotions. So when you've got someone who's grumpy in the room, they're just emitting at a paltry level. You come in with your honest, higher vibrating self, you squash it. And that poor bugger probably can't help but kind of be charmed and lured by you.
You bring them all along with you. Something you said somewhere else, you'd think I did nothing but stalk you, something about, you used the term rampage of appreciation. Oh, that just blew my mind. I thought that was incredible. And you talk about 17 seconds.
So both those terms, the credit is due to Abraham Hicks, the authors of the Law of Attraction books, who use the idea of a rampage of appreciation. So when you're already in an appreciative state, go on a rampage. So you're feeling good, milk it, because you only have to, so that bugger in the boardroom who's on his low vibing, right? he only needs about 17 seconds of you to change his set point, to change his vibrational energy. And that's the amount, just a small amount of time is all that's required. So if you are going and you're walking your dog and life feels good and stuff like that, well, keep going. Like, look at that beautiful flower over there. I'm almost home. I get to do this that I love. I'm almost home. I get to see this that I love. And you just go, look at this beautiful sky. Look at these birds. Look at these flowers. I love this time of year. It's so fragrant out. And you hold that for 17 seconds and feeling appreciation for things. I have a really good life. This is amazing. I feel so good. I can feel my vibration changing.
Yeah.
You do that for 17 seconds and you literally change your set point of attraction. You raise your vibe, you raise your vibe, you raise your vibe. And everything that you want in life is because you think you're going to feel better if you have it. Right? Everything, whether it's the new job, the new partner, the new bank account, the new waist size, the new car, you think you're going to feel better in having it. So that's why this works, because the better you feel, the more you line up with the things that you want. They can't come to you. They have to match vibrationally. Vibration is attracted to vibration. And so the things that you want are all lined up at the door, but you just have to get to be the person who is already in the zone of the prize, because it's, people think, give me the prize and then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You got to get into it as though you already are, right?
Yeah.
So you look at wealthy people, they get more wealthy, and it's because they're just not even thinking about loss of money. They're not thinking poverty thoughts. They're not thinking poverty thoughts. It's the person who's thinking about lack of everything is not attracting wealth. They're attracting lack of everything and proof of it all the time.
See, in really simple terms, to me, that is, the universe doesn't really there's nothing about time or circumstance.
No.
So if you're thinking, oh, I really need some money, the universe kind of goes, yeah, okay, you want to need money. Okay, keep going.
Here's your need. Here's more need.
Yeah. And you'll stay there when you can put yourself in a place of thoroughly enjoying, for me, having a holiday with the grandkids, where there's someone to look after them. Not me.
Not me.
No. Adore them, but we need someone else. But all of that, envisioning all the good bits and the feelings.
Yes.
And that's where I wanted to get, because that is something that you are always talking about, and it's so important, is living our feelings, acknowledging our feelings, being in our feelings.
The feeling is the manifestation. It's not the car, it's not the bank account, it's not the partner, it's not the vacation, it's not the whatever. The feeling itself is the manifestation. You want to almost do this because feeling good feels so good, right? That you just refuse to have a life. And I'm lucky in a couple of ways. My father, unfortunately, passed when I was 17 in front of me at 49 years of age.
Oh.
And that planted a subconscious message I now realize. It took me a long time to realize, because I've played my life with an amount of risk. I've played my life with an amount of carefree, happy-go-lucky, free spirit kind of vibe. And I think it was seeing that tomorrow's not a promise.
Yes.
That changed me, I think, for the better.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to look back on my life and think that I've squandered any of the precious time that I have feeling anything less than pretty damn good. And, all we have is this now moment. Like, the only thing that's going on, Elaine, right now between you and I is this now moment. There's nothing else going. Past is over, future hasn't happened yet. This is all that's going on. And so if you can say that I'm happy in this now moment, and I am happy in this now moment, and I hope you are too, then life is just a string of moments.
Yes.
And you want that string to have always been mostly happy, mostly joyful. Yeah. And when you're in the past and you're feeling depressed, when you're in the future, you're feeling anxious, you have to be in the now and just appreciating everything that's going on.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to miss, living in these moments, is in these little moments that the most incredible things happen.
Yeah.
What you say, don't not being attached to the outcome is really what it is. The car or house or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is to me extraneous to how you feel.
Well, I was supposed to spend several months in LA this year, starting after Christmas, and it didn't pan out, and I was really bummed about it for a little while, right? And that's a great example of like life's like not perfect.
Yeah.
I was so bummed, and then I realized there's a reason, and I don't know what that is, but I'm not supposed to be there. I'm always in the right place at the right time. COVID came.
Yes.
Everything that's going on now has come, and I could not imagine being stuck
Oh my
anywhere
God.
but home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when all this was unfolding and people were getting sick, and the sickness in the States especially, I'm so grateful was not in LA and stuck there, right? And so I can see now why I was kept here. And that's just a great example of how I didn't understand. I was bummed, blah, blah, blah. But I just had the faith that it was the right move for me to stay put. And indeed it was. You can look back and see that now. And that's all this is about, this kind of conversation. It's chilling the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah. It is just
Dial it down. I mean, my drama was up about it. I was really internally, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Strong. But you dial it down eventually, and then you get to understand the why.
And I think that's important, though, that what you just said, because I don't want people to think you're not saying you have to be perfectly happy all the time. You're acknowledging, sometimes we get in drama,
Yes.
It's how and how quickly you get yourself out of reaction.
Yes. You're still going to meet the buggers. You're still going to have the awful circumstances. You're still going to have a problem. Things are not going to go your way all the time. But if you can just know that life always works out for me, and here's your evidence, you're still here.
Yeah.
You're still doing you. Life has always worked out. Everything that's ever happened to you has found its way clear.
Yep.
Right? And so it will continue that way. And sometimes that problem will feel too big for that kind of idea, but watch how it unfolds. It always works out for you. And if you can just have that notion going on a 24/7 basis and believe it, and then remember the evidence when it comes up, so that the next time crap happens to you, this is just an experience. This has got an end date to it. I've survived and thrived in all my experiences. This one's going to be just the same. I don't like what I'm seeing, but it's for a good reason. Yeah.
So take the lesson and move on.
Yes. I appreciate that the universe knows what's best for me, even when I don't.
Yeah.
Right. I've got a strong hand at my back with the universe. We talk to ourselves all day.
Yes.
We talk to ourselves all day.
Why not make it good bits?
Make it good.
Yeah.
Make it good.
I like that. I really like that. I honestly, I think you've always been wise beyond your years.
That's kind of you to say.
Really, it's you're definitely a bit of a visionary who I think this thought revolution is an incredible movement for you to lead, because you are the embodiment of what you're espousing.
Thank you.
And that's really rare.
Thank you, Elaine. That's very kind of you to say.
It's really rare.
I'm going to come back next week.
Oh, good. Woohoo! So I'm honestly, for one of the few times in my life, I'm at a loss for words, because I am just feeling so thrilled that we've had this great discussion, and it's everything I wanted it to be, everything I envisioned it to be, and more in the moment.
I'm so glad. and
which is,
especially on your 100th episode.
well, yeah. Here we are at 100 with an amazing guest. Okay, so I'm going to lighten the mood for a bit, because I've wanted to ask you this now for ages. I know you've interviewed lots and lots of people. You even got to interview Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony Robbins.
Yep.
And you spoke in New York.
Yes.
Martha Henderson.
No, that was at the Men and Masculinities conference, and oh gosh, she's slipping. Jane Fonda, Sally Steinem, Gloria Steinem.
Gloria Steinem.
Were there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much there. Did you ever want to interview RuPaul?
Of course.
Oh, good. Because Little Bird told me you don't watch Drag Race.
Well, so I've interviewed RuPaul about 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Before, yeah. I don't watch Drag Race. I think I'm the only gay who doesn't. But I'm too busy with the Real Housewives.
There we go.
There's only so many guilty pleasures you can have, and I'll watch the Real Housewives of anywhere, anytime. And so after a while, you gotta pick and choose. But I actually just watched with a mate of mine, sat me down and put a couple of episodes on. I'd seen earlier ones, bits and pieces and stuff like that. But I like RuPaul. I've interviewed him 3 times. Once he had on a wig that was so huge that our interview took place in one of those vans that they use to transport luggage from the airport to the hotel, and we all get in the van, and really wide. Yeah. And she was on her way to a gig here in Toronto, and we sat in the back of the van and chatted, and I interviewed her. But the reason she wasn't in a car or in a taxi or whatever is because the hair was so big, it wouldn't fit. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. He's someone that I really like too. He's
someone who's into the exact same stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
The exact same stuff. In fact, one of the interviews that Oprah's done recently that I enjoyed the most was with RuPaul. Yes. And if you listen to this, if people are watching and haven't heard this or seen this yet, look it up and have a look, because it's everything that Elaine and I are talking about. He's very into the same ideas.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And like you, he's had a multifaceted career.
Yes.
He's a songwriter. He's done so many things like you.
He has better hair than me. Better wigs.
Okay. So no, you've got good hair. You've got good hair.
You and my COVID cut? My roommate did.
Yes, I like your COVID cut.
Thank you.
Yeah, I desperately need a cut.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, tomorrow.
And my kingdom for a pedicure.
Yeah, that too. It's hard when you have oddly colored hair.
I know you always have it. I thought to myself, I wonder what color hair you're going to have today.
Well,
every time I see you,
the same color. It's just a little washed out.
I know. We'll get there. The salons are opening soon.
We will. And it's a different world that we have now. And I think
I like it.
I think there's a lot of things are actually kind of exciting.
Very much. The planet has had 3 months to replenish itself and has just taken off.
Yeah. A little dangerous here. We have coyotes that are attacking people. It's not so good.
Well, I won't get into the details, but recently I saw a wolf.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know that they're out and about in all kinds of places, but I was somewhere and a wolf ran by and I had not been drinking.
No, wow. Well, I grew up right against Dan's Udell's Park.
Right.
So I can only imagine how amazing that is now.
Oh, yeah, the deer. And I mean, a bit of a problem, yes, but not really. It's just a sign that we've given the earth some peace. So, and, the animals have the same, or they don't have the same rights, but I believe they have the right get out and see a bit of, you know, our side of the fence.
Absolutely, without having to worry about getting hit by a bus. It's nice to have a little less traffic for a while. It must be really nice in Toronto.
I like how quiet it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind the social distancing. I realize that most of my life, you've got a person here and you've got a person there and a person
Yeah.
behind you and a person in front of you. And I was walking my dog to the vegetable market the other day, and I stopped, you know, 2 raccoons or 3 hockey sticks or 9 whatever's apart from the people in front of me, and I'd already slowed my walk because they were in front of me. And in the slowing of my walk, I was more in the moment. I was more in the this now moment, which is all we have. And then I was able to look around and see things that I appreciated, you know, racing by them.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were waiting for the traffic light to change, and I just felt calmer. I didn't feel, because the old me would have been striding around. I'm very tall. I've got long legs. I strut from A to B, and I feel I've become a better friend in some ways, because when you were isolated, I've got friends who are a little older than me. I was just checking in on them. I don't normally check in on them. You know, and it's dawned on me, and I've liked connecting with people because you had no choice but to connect with them, because you're sort of isolated and bored sometimes. And I like the reconnection, and I want to spend more time making sure that I stay connected with people that I love, instead of being so busy, so in my own head, you know?
And,
so there's been many benefits.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm actually making a point of connecting every day with the people that I don't talk to often.
Yes.
Because,
and it's not to negate the terrible things that have happened.
No.
But with great change, there comes a lot of upheaval, a lot of turmoil. And I think I've said this a few different times, but I think we were screwing everything up as a species. We were making the planet sick, and universe sent us all to our rooms to think about what we've done and who we want to be when we come out. And I feel that strongly, and I'm grateful for it. I'm really grateful to be alive at a time like this, when, you know, in the darker times of this, I felt like I was in some sort of dark comic book storyline, like what masks and viruses, and the whole planet had stopped. But coming out of it, I feel like we've been witness to great change. And how blessed we are to have had this experience. Kids who are experiencing this right now are going to be like the best grandparents one day, because they're going to have killer stories.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there was a time we all had to stay inside. The whole planet? Yeah, the whole planet had to stay inside. Yeah. No way. You know, they're going to be fun, and they'll come out and they'll be washing their hands the rest of their lives.
That's true. The youngest grandson, who's 3, that's the first thing he says to anyone.
You wash
your hands.
Yeah. I think they're going to be interesting people because of this experience. How can you not be?
Absolutely. And I'm taking a page from Tyra Banks' book and learning how to smize much better, because when you've got a mask on,
it's true.
People, and I thought I was making a joke with a young cashier about a week ago, and he just looked at me deadpan.
Yes.
I'm pretty funny. And he said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't hear you."
You can't hear.
And I thought, oh my God, he doesn't know if I'm raging or what I'm doing. I gotta work on my smize.
You got to work on your smize, and I miss the mouth. I miss seeing people's mouths and a smile or whatever. But it's my understanding that face shields are going to be a bigger thing than masks, and I kind of like that, because then we can see the whole face.
Oh yeah, but they're really tough on your hair. My energy.
I don't know if our hair is going to make it out of this experience.
Well, I don't have a lot left, so I don't want to be losing it to some massive headgear.
You know, I keep noticing how bad my eyebrows are, which is why I'm wearing glasses, so you guys can't see how bad they are. And I try and fix them. But then I get in an elevator with fluorescent lighting above, or harsh lighting above, and that's when that's where I need to bring in my tweezers, because you can really see the strays, the abandoned ones. These are called champagne problems in my book.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is there an eyebrow bank for those of us that are laughing?
I don't know. We should have one. Start one.
They should. Yeah. Wow. That is an awful lot lighter. See, being spiritual doesn't mean you can't be silly.
Oh my God, I'm the biggest goof you're gonna meet. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the little boy side of me. I'm a big clown.
Well, yeah. I tell people mentally I'm 12.
And you know what? I always think to myself, because I've had partners or guys that I've dated or whatever who've been saying, everyone has always said it, you're just a little boy. You're just a goofball with your fart app, reading it inappropriately, or your practical jokes, or your whatever.
Oh, yeah. You got to have some fun.
But I think that I take that as a compliment, because I wouldn't have ever wanted to lose that, because life is meant to be fun, and Absolutely. It's meant to be joyful, and it's meant to be playful, and not be taken so seriously. And for a long time, I took life very, very seriously, and I still take things seriously. But it's good to, let your hair down. I got together for a socially distanced dinner with a friend last night, and we've done it a few times. I think this is our third one, and I keep sending stupid videos that we make together that always involve trying to do something real, but we have a mask on, so we can't. We're trying to drink the wine, whatever. And we're making these stupid videos. They are just immature and childish, and I send them to my accountant. Random.
I love it. Oh, we saw a video the other day where they actually had put a little door so they could use a straw. And see, we just all got rid of straws.
We just got rid of straws.
Well, I have stainless steel.
That's what I have too. I like them.
Yeah. Yeah, but having a little door in the mouth.
Not sure. Though that little door, you could still get, a virus could get in.
It's like, it just seems so bizarre to have the door, kind of defeats the purpose.
Defeats the purpose. But you can get your wine down. So maybe not.
That's true.
What's the purpose?
Yes, definitely champagne problems.
Yes.
I have an old friend who used to say, "Oh dear God, Dorothy, your shoes are too tight."
Wise friend.
Yes, he is. On that note, wow. Oh, wow. I've just had you here forever. I could keep you forever.
Oh, are we done?
We don't have to be.
That flew by.
It did.
It did fly by.
Yes, I promised I would try and keep to 45 minutes, and we're way over.
Look at us go.
But yeah, I so enjoy talking to you.
You too, Elaine.
I know it's an absolute joy for other people too, to be able to take in how real you are. And
you're very kind to me. Thank you.
Oh, it's not kind of, it's actually this has been a gift for me.
Thank you.
And I've just had a blast.
Me too.
I have to say, I thank you so much for being the 100th guest.
I'm honored. That's great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait to see you IRL, so to speak. Next
IRL?
Time. Yeah, in real life.
Oh, yes. Is that what the kids are saying now?
Well,
you're keeping up.
Yeah, we started that years ago when we were doing Hangouts.
Right, IRL. Okay.
No, we called them hurls. Isn't that awful?
Hurls means?
Hangout in real life. But the term hurl just to me was, ooh, yeah. Exactly.
She's a hurl. Wow.
Yeah, let's hurl? No thanks.
Let's hurl.
Yeah.
1, 2,
3. Well, again, I thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you. And in the meantime, make the best of you today, every day. I'm Elaine Lindsay, and it's been amazing today to be here with my guest, Shaun Proulx. You can find out all about him and his social connections and everything on his page on BBP TV Show. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Brought to you by BBP TV Show and True Social, helping small biz navigate the digital world.